Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with what is an anode and what is the cathode. Anode, in the previous class I had shown you the diagram of an electrolytic cell where the electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is called anode, and the electrode which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery is called cathode. Now, apart from that, anions, you know that anions are negatively charged ions. They donate excess electrons to the anode. As such, it is an oxidizing electrode. That means anode is an oxidizing electrode. Oxidation takes place at the anode. Now, let us take a look at cathode. Cathode, it is the electrode connected to the negative terminal of the battery. The cations means positively charged ions. It gains excess electrons from the cathode. It is a reducing electrode. Hence, reduction takes place at the cathode. So, you should be aware of the fact that at the anode, oxidation takes place. At the cathode, reduction takes place. Now, what are ions? They are atoms or a group of atoms which carry a positive or a negative charge and become mobile when electric current is passed through its aqueous solution of a chemical compound. So all of you know that ions can either be a positive charged ion, which we call cation, and negative charged ion, which we call anion. So let us look at the basic differences between anions and cations. Anions, they are negatively charged ions. They lose electrons to the anode and get oxidized to neutral atom. For example, chloride ion, it loses one electron. Okay, chloride ion, it loses one electron and it becomes chlorine atom, which is a neutral atom. Now, cations, they are positively charged ions. They accept or gain electrons from the cathode and get reduced to neutral atom. For example, sodium ion, which is a cation, it gains one electron and it becomes sodium atom, which is a neutral atom. Now in ICSE, very often you'll see that they ask you to differentiate between electrolytic dissociation and ionization. What do you mean by electrolytic dissociation? It is a process which takes place in an ionic compound or electrovalent compound. It involves separation of ions which are already present in an ionic compound. For example, lead bromide, copper sulfate, sodium chloride, etc. These are all ionic compounds. Okay, so when you pass electric current, what happens? It separates into, for instance, lead bromide. Okay, now lead bromide is in molten state. It forms lead ions and two bromide ions. Now, what do you mean by ionization? Is a process which involves formation of charged ions from molecules which are not in the ionic state. That means mostly it is covalent compounds, okay, molecules. They are the ones that undergo ionization. Polar covalent compounds show ionization. For example, hydrogen chloride gas, ammonia gas, etc. What do you understand by electrochemical series? You studied earlier also. Depending on the ease with which the metal lose the electrons and form ions, the metals are arranged in a series known as electrochemical series of metals. Now look here, right at the top you'll see metals like potassium, calcium, sodium. As you go down, At the bottom of the series, you'll find silver, gold, platinum. So these are the ions arranged in the electrochemical series, and you can look at this arrow. It is arranged in such a way that increasing ease of reduction takes place. That means the ones at the top, those cations, they get discharged with most difficulty. Okay, it cannot be easily discharged. For example, potassium or calcium or sodium. Now, as you move downwards, okay, the increasing ease of reduction increases. So the ones at the bottom, for instance, I'll tell you silver, gold, platinum, they get discharged most easily. Now let us take a quick look at anions. Now anions, for instance, at the top you'll find sulfate ions are there, nitrate, chloride, bromide, iodide, and hydroxide. Now, the ones at the top, for instance, the sulfate, it gets discharged with most difficulty. It is not easy to get discharged. But the ones that is placed right at the bottom, for instance, hydroxyl ions, it discharged most easily. So how they are arranged? They are arranged in such a way. It is in the increasing ease of oxidation. Okay, increasing ease of oxidation. So you have to remember this electrochemical series, because if you are given, say, two ions, one is calcium, the other is aluminium, which one will get discharged? Not calcium, but aluminium will get discharged because it is placed below calcium in the reactivity series. Similarly, you have to know the list of anions. Sulfate is there and hydroxide is there. Which one will get discharged easily? Hydroxyl will get discharged and not sulfate. So revise your lesson and then you can answer the questions given in the assignment. Thank you.